Geek Out! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Geek Out Championship Wrestling, the only wrestling podcast with the balls to do an episode on a pay-per-view-ly basis, where we talk to you about the current state, mostly of WWE, probably only WWE, every time they put out a pay-per-view. I'm your host with the most, Chris Nolan, and sitting next to me is my co-host with the co-host with the co-most, back again, Mr. Timmy C.
It feels so good to be back on the microphone. Man, I missed you guys last week.
We missed you, and unfortunately, he like CM Punk, he took his title and ran.
I noticed that.
We do not have Mr. Stephen Harvey joining us tonight.
Hold on, wait. No, I didn't hear anybody crying.
Yeah. Yeah, but unfortunately, as anyone who was keeping close track knows, Mr. Stephen Harvey and I tied, which means as he was the defending champion's advantage, he got to keep the belt.
That's cute.
Yeah. But I am proud that I at least tied him. You know, he's on notice.
Yeah, well, I mean, and it's great that you guys love boring and predictable pay-per-views. I mean, those of us who go out on a limb get penalized, but hey, you know what? It's cool.
Hey,
it's cool. We should get into
we
how the
like
matches went.
We like what we like. We root for whom we root for.
Right, yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's crack into it.
Yeah, I mean, the pre-show had a match that we didn't even cover.
No,
and I don't think we should cover even now.
Yeah, why would we?
Right.
They chose to wait until the day before to announce it and one of the other matches on the main card.
Right. Yeah, terrible.
Yeah.
But let's start off with how they started with the Women's Elimination Chamber.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. And I thought actually they would, I was used to the Royal Rumble, they were the last match.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking that they would do the same thing here, surprisingly, but they came out and did the first.
Set the tone for the night.
That's true.
Which was a good tone to set. I think it was a great match.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially with last year, and I want to say like maybe the last couple Elimination Chambers have kind of been a little Like last year, the big thing was that Bray Wyatt won, and that was cool, but like the match itself was pretty lackluster. Like I don't remember any damn thing from it.
No.
Yeah. Whereas like the main story, I'll say, for the women's elimination chamber match was the Bayley Banks relationship and the supposed Banks heel turn. I say supposed because for the most part they seemed fine at Raw, except for Bayley ditching her on the hot tag.
On the tag, yeah.
But like there seemed like there was no real repercussions from that on the show.
Not yet. I mean, if they're trying to slow burn, they're not doing a great job of it. But
we kind of saw it. To be fair, they've been doing a slow burn for this for about a year now.
Yeah, they have.
But still, not a good job.
The best part I think about this match was that there was no clear favorite. I mean, I know that Bliss was the reigning champion and ended up winning, but going into the match, outside of maybe Mickie James, because I really didn't see her winning, there was a couple that I really thought had a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you're talking about Sasha Banks and Bayley. So that's why I went with Bayley, because I thought that would be a fun, especially if her booking is terrible. You all know that have listened. If they could turn her into a badass, that would be great.
Macho woman Bayley Savage.
Right. Enough of the hugs, and really just turn it around.
Less hugs, more shrugs.
Oh, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
We should get that down.
Yeah.
Right.
Trademark.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, even though like in my heart of hearts and my smarks of smarks, I knew that Bliss was going to retain.
Right.
Like, there were some legit moments where I was like, huh?
Right.
And oh my God, Alexa had some wonderful like bits in that match.
Yeah, she was good.
Being the scaredy cat, running away, hiding in the pod, which Elias later stole.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be fair, that's also a very common thing.
Right.
Especially for the last person or the biggest heel in the match. they hide in the pod, or they're just like, you know what, you guys fight.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, it was great. She executed it perfectly, I think.
Yeah.
I loved her climbing up on the sides and scooting around, hiding, evading them.
I do disagree with Corey Graves. At the end of the match, he said that she had insurmountable odds that she went up against, and she was the last one in the match.
Corey Graves is prone to hyperbole.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
And also, for some reason, just hates Sasha Banks, which is weird because I remember about a year ago he loved Sasha Banks, and I do not remember a reasoning behind that.
Well, if she does turn heel, he will like her.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Happen.
That was the big thing. Like, her as a heel, he was like, "It's boss time."
Yeah, he'll be all about it.
Yeah, I loved that. The Twisted Bliss off the pod,
yes.
and then like the DDT that she did to end the match. Beautiful.
Yeah, I agree. Great in ring. Yep, great in ring. Very technical, technically sound.
Yeah.
Absolution was eliminated first, which is a little bit of a surprise to me. But I mean,
they've been so wishy-washy on whether or not they're building up both of the women's trios that they added. Their Riot Squad finally is kind of being built up, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure, come Fastlane, since Ruby Riott and Charlotte already have that championship match.
Right.
But yeah, Absolution, like, I didn't expect Absolution to get to the end, but I definitely did expect them to get a little bit further than that.
Well, it's almost like Creative initially pushed them as like this strong trio, and then they're like, oh, wait. Yeah, this isn't going to work.
Yeah. They're like, oh, Paige is hurt?
Yeah. It was almost doomed from the start.
Yeah.
But
Mickie James did some good in-ring shit against them. I liked that show.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And how great was Bliss's post-match?
Oh, that little speech that she gave?
She had me going a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
For a hot second, I was like, oh shit, the Mickie James friendship, this speech. Are they turning her into a babyface? Like,
right.
I'm confident in her in her acting abilities. She could do it, but then she just turned on a dime, and I was like, ah, yes, that's the Alexa Bliss I know and love.
I want everybody to know that they can chase their dreams, and none of you will ever attain them.
I love how they zoomed in on a little girl in the audience holding up the Raw Women's title, and she was, like her hopes and dreams were being lifted, and then as soon as Alexa said that, they cut away from her so they didn't see her cry.
Right? Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of that.
I like how there were a lot of cheers that rang out when she said that too.
Yeah. You guys are right with your mark out predictions there. I was not correct, but moving on to Titus Worldwide.
Titus Worldwide.
Hooah. Ain't that right, SJY 3000, huh?
Yeah.
And then they went up against the Bar.
Yeah.
This was something I don't think we talked about on the pre-show.
This was another show, or another match that just got announced at the last minute.
Right.
I will say, Titus looked good. Paul looked good.
Yeah.
I'm a little sad that it was so cut and dry, or even more so like on the Raw after, like the 2 out of 3 falls match, where it was just boom, boom, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, and I'm actually glad they dropped the Crews out of Apollo Crews,
so
it's easier for you to remember. Because remember,
Dick.
Yeah, that's right. Part of me really wanted Titus Worldwide to win.
Yeah,
like as they were going through the match, I was like, man, this could be pretty cool. I mean, just because I would like to see something happen with Apollo. You and I have talked about it. Either you do that, or in my opinion, you move him back to NXT.
Yeah. And I will say, like, as much as I love Apollo, like, when he first got called up, I was like, oh, that's too soon. He's only been there for like 3 months.
Yeah.
Or maybe 6, but definitely not even a whole year. It was like Nia Jax when she got called up. I was like, too soon.
Yeah. Isn't it, I don't know about you, but it was pretty funny to me that one of the few things I remember about this match, and it was just recent, right? Is when Sheamus slipped on the ropes.
Yeah. And it was like, oh, no. Yeah. We're not laughing about this.
No, laugh at my mohawk, but don't laugh at this.
Just tell me I look stupid.
Right, yeah. But, crowd was more into Titus, I think, in my opinion. But that didn't really say much. Over. Yeah, that didn't really say much, I guess. Yeah. But, I mean, overall, I thought the match was okay. It was a good filler.
Yeah. And it was a good fella.
Yeah. That's older Sheamus.
Yeah.
And then we have Nia Jax against Asuka.
And speaking of Nia, like this was like one of the first times where I was like, oh, Nia is really looking dominant. Like I feel like she hasn't been really put in that actually like booked in a match to look really dominant.
Well, you know why? You know why?
Why?
Well, she's not like most girls. And that's why
that's lucky for her.
I know. I was totally going to mark out if she beat Asuka. I wasn't thinking that it would be a clean finish, but part of me was thinking that they want Nia in this match at WrestleMania. So my thinking was that it would be a count out. It would be something, a disqualification,
right?
Something that
Outside
really adds intrigue, because that's something that WWE would do.
Yeah, well, because they're clearly not ready for Asuka's streak to be beat,
right? But that's a way to keep Asuka's streak alive. It's like, oh no, it's like it didn't count. It's not a loss.
Yeah, it's like how she's lost in tag matches,
right?
But she wasn't the one that took the pin.
Correct.
Yeah,
right.
And part of me even thinks. Actually, most of me is sure that come WrestleMania, when she probably goes up against Alexa Bliss, since they still haven't officially announced,
right? But
like it's more than likely going to be Alexa Bliss that she's going up against. She's still going to have that undefeated streak. She's going to be the one that beats Alexa.
You don't think it'll be Charlotte?
No. It could be. But just because, mostly because Shinsuke, is the one that beat the men's Rumble.
Right.
He's going up against AJ. So SmackDown has their Rumble match. So that's why I think Asuka is going up against Bliss. That, and also Asuka's already on Raw, so she doesn't have to switch brands to get that title. And I imagine they want to keep her on Raw.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised. I didn't think they did this, but I don't know if you noticed when they announced Nia Jax, they announced her weight. I thought they didn't do that with women.
They do that with Nia Jax.
Why?
Because she's not like most girls.
Oh, I guess so.
Well, that also, just really, driving home the fact that she is a beast amongst the women's division.
Yeah, I was surprised.
A monster amongst women.
Nice ball. Yeah. You're going to get these hands.
Yeah.
But
I want that shirt so bad.
I was kind of surprised, though. I didn't. I don't think I heard it before, but anyway.
I know they've been doing it. I don't know if they do it every single time, but I remember when she first got called up, that was a thing that was being talked about on one of the other wrestling podcasts that I listened to.
No, I'm like one of those.
Yeah.
Well.
Well, but they were going off on it, whereas you were like, I've never noticed that before.
Yeah.
And they were like, this is rude.
Okay, good.
Why is she being singled out? That kind of thing. So you're not like most podcasts.
Okay, good. Yeah, I don't want to be like most podcasts.
Lucky for you.
Right. I did notice for an Asuka match, though, it was a little sloppy. I noticed a couple missed spots. Of course, Asuka won, but I did like at the end the whole Nia Jax, putting her through the barrier.
My God. Running her through the timekeepers area, which apparently... who was it? Corey Graves doesn't know what that's called? Or?
No, he doesn't.
Or no, was it Coach?
It was Coach.
Yeah. It's been long enough that I've forgotten which voice it was, but I remember one of them being like, "Oh, the thing," and I was like, "It's fucking timekeepers area."
Yeah,
it makes sense that it would be Coach since he's the new guy.
And but he should know better because he used to be in WWE. You remember? Right? And that's typical Coach being a popcorn fart. For those of you that got that reference.
I did not.
Oh, it's okay. The Rock called him that.
Nice.
And everybody chanted it. So it was kind of funny.
Nice.
But yeah, so overall, I thought it was a pretty good match. But I thought it was a little sloppy for an Asuka match. She's usually technically sound. But overall, I think you guys picked Asuka to win. Yeah. So you guys marked out heavy for that. So yeah, woohoo! Great pay-per-view.
I think if they had done a better job leading up to this, making Nia look like a credible threat instead of just being a girl who's in love with Enzo Amore, I would have been more likely to mark out at Nia Jax. But I was just like, she's just a big girl. She's not the monster that they keep calling her.
Right.
Now, after that match, I'm like, oh, no, she's got some of that monster in her.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I will say I was a little disappointed, again, the Raw after, when Asuka comes out and she looks totally fine. I'm like...
Right, yeah.
I'm like, I get it. You want her to be, just like a beast as well, but like... now you're just making Nia look weak again.
Yeah, I'll get into this with Roman Reigns too.
Yeah.
It's the Super Cena
exactly.
treatment.
Yeah, Roman Reigns suffers from the same problem.
Exactly. The Super Cena was the same way a couple years ago. So
they're all Weapon X program.
Yes. Yeah,
they got that regeneration.
So let's get into the match that I finally won, and that would be Matt Hardy, Woken against Bray Wyatt. I think this is a matchup that we've seen for a little while, and boy, have they botched this hard.
I will say, the pre-match stuff, where like, Bray tried to do his teleportation thing, but then Matt wasn't in the ring anymore.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool. I enjoyed that, but then once the match actually started, was when I checked out.
Well, and so did the fans, because you saw a beach ball.
Mm-hmm.
You saw the wave.
Yeah.
You heard a chant for Rusev Day.
Yeah, which is the new CM Punk, and I love it.
Yep.
Because I hate the CM Punk chant, because he's never coming back.
But what I will say is Matt Hardy is trying to salvage this, and I don't know if creative has anything to do with it, because I partially think that creative is ruining this gimmick.
But as they are wont to do.
But with the Woken Warriors, I think that's pretty cool. And I think Matt Hardy's doing a better job. They need to continue to book him to win. He can't be losing if he's doing this gimmick. And if that's the case, then they need to get him away from Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
If you want to push both stars, great. If you want to team them up, fine.
Yeah.
I do think we're overdue for a little brother Nero.
Apparently you'd think that he's good to go by now. I've heard rumor that he's good to go. He was on Raw 25 as a non-wrestling character.
Right. I think we're ready for Senor Benjamin to come in and get things ready. So anyway, but I thought it was good to see Matt Hardy win. Yeah. I did not want to see another loss, especially after the Raw 25. I thought that was
that was just upsetting.
Right.
Unfortunately, it does seem like Bray Wyatt is not finished with him yet.
Right.
To steal a Braun Strowman line.
And I'm okay if this continues, but it needs to lead to something. So it has to, we need to see something. Maybe they team up at some point. I don't know, but I did think it was funny when Bray Wyatt did his, kind of his crab look, where he looks upside down, and Matt Hardy just laughed at him. I did laugh out loud, and then after that, I checked out like everybody else.
And then you heard the 1, 2, 3, and you were like, "Good, next match."
Yeah. Well, and then I could celebrate because I finally joined you guys in getting a victory.
Yeah, felt good, didn't it?
And then we had Ronda Rousey come out.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about Ronda Rousey?
So, I like Ronda. I like her being added to the wrestling, but I don't know how I feel about the state of her, mic skills and stuff like that. And they're really leaning hard on that. And I'm like,
Yeah, I don't think she's practiced it much. I mean, she didn't use it much in UFC.
No.
But I think if you remember, even Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, all the kind of new people that came up that they wanted to push are in that same boat.
I mean, how Roman Reigns wasn't good at cutting a promo until after WrestleMania.
That, and then the other night.
Yeah, oh my God, that was beautiful. I hope that was legit.
Yeah. Even though
at the very least, I'm hoping that they're like, okay, Brock's not here. We're going to give you the mic and you can blow off some steam because, whatever.
Right.
Stay within these boundaries. Maybe give him the pipe bomb treatment. We'll cut your mic when you go too far.
Right.
But oh my God, as soon as he said, I'm going to start covering for this guy, I was like, huh? And then he's just like, Brock's not here. And just went off. I was like, this is how you get me to like Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and I thought it was it's a cheap way to do it, but I thought that was really good. I mean, I know you're not big into TNA, but they did, Samoa Joe did something similar with Scott Hall, and actually Kevin Nash was in the ring with him when he said this, and you could see Kevin Nash in the corner like, what are you saying? And then supposedly there were some words and fisticuffs between the two of them after, when they got backstage. But I mean, it's to me, it was one of the bright spots after this pay-per-view that's like, okay, you know what? If you want to build, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
The Ronda Rousey, Triple H slam into the table. You're right with the mic skills, right?
Yeah. I did love that slam into the table. It looked nice.
Right. And so you started with the mic skills. It was like, meh. Yeah. And then the slam of Triple H into the table was good. I was hoping that she would react to the Stephanie slap.
Yeah. Instead of just puff up.
Yeah.
But that's probably more Stephanie than anything else.
Right.
Being like, I don't want to take a hit until we get into the actual match.
Right. And I think if she was more seasoned on the microphone, she could then say something instead of having to act on that. And
I also think the mic thing was also a 1-2 punch of Kurt kind of floundering on the mic recently.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if you noticed on Raw, but he called it, at the pay-per-view, he called it WrestleMania 21 and then said, 31. And I don't know if you noticed on Raw, but they cut out the 21 part on there. So it looks
did
cleaner.
Not notice that.
Yeah.
Also, I forget what he called it, but at the pay-per-view, Steph and Trips were saying that he had the flu. And on Raw, he said something else, a different sickness.
Right.
But I mean, that's I lied. I lied.
Yeah.
For no reason, no real reason.
Exactly.
If I were Ronda Rousey, then I'd be more pissed at Kurt. I would want to go after Kurt.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Because now you're the one to as the way I'm perceiving it. Now you're the one that's trying to manipulate me.
Yeah. But I don't know if I'm that big of a fan of, because I think what they're leading up to is Trips and Stephanie against Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey. I don't know how good I feel about that, especially after, the follow-up on Raw the next night where, Kurt's just standing there like...
Takes the Homer Simpson punch.
Yeah, exactly. I saw the same thing you did. That was pretty funny. That made me laugh.
Yeah, it would be great if they could find a way to get The Rock in on that instead of Kurt.
Yeah.
But I think there's also a very realistic problem with getting The Rock in the ring again.
Yeah.
At least until he has like a year or two break in between movies, as opposed to 5 movies coming out in 1 year.
Well, and plus,
I don't know if it's actually 5 this year, but it's a lot.
Plus,
it's at least 3.
I think it would be a whole lot better if he was in the ring at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Dueling guitars with Elias.
I would walk with The Rock.
Do we want to get into the men's Elimination Chamber?
I would love to.
All right. Well, I think after what Seth Rollins did to start off Monday Night Raw, or Monday Night Rollins, last Monday, the Monday before the pay-per-view, and you can go back and listen to previous podcasts. If you listen to Royal Rumble, I said this is the year of Seth Rollins. Yeah. He was my pick for Royal Rumble. He was my pick for Elimination Chamber because, in my opinion, they need to bring back the Architect. Although I did think it was funny. The funniest thing I saw, because, going back and forth with you and Steven, I wasn't a big fan of what you guys were saying to me. I thought it was rather rude. But it was funny reading. I think Steven had a tweet about how, why do they call him the Architect if they say, if in his music it says burn it down? I laughed so hard at that. That was priceless. So Steven, if you're listening,
he's
great tweet, but I hate you overall.
He's got some good gems.
Right.
Yeah. I thought they did a great job booking the majority of this match.
I agree.
Everyone looked strong. Everyone looked like a fucking hoss, especially Braun.
And Finn Balor.
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor,
my God.
I keep seeing that they keep, his booking hasn't been strong.
Right.
At Elimination Chamber, he looked awesome.
I think they might have just let them roll with it, just be like, do whatever you want. as long as it boils down to Braun versus Roman.
Yeah, I hated that.
Yeah. But like I feel you got enough guys, you got enough veteran guys in that match that you just give them carte blanche, they're going to put out a great match.
Right.
And for the guys that aren't as skilled, they're great workers. You're Roman Reigns, you're Elias.
Yep.
You know, you're Braun. You know, he's got some great moves, but I'm sure he's not the one calling them in the match. But like with guys like Rollins, The Miz, Balor in there, fucking you can't. And or John Cena, where you can hear him calling the moves from across the.
Yeah.
Although I didn't pick up on any this match, but I wasn't really like trying to listen.
Right.
Unlike Royal Rumble, where you hear him go, "Now Shinsuke,
right
now, run in now."
Yeah.
It was like Eddie Guerrero, or was it Eddie Guerrero? The ladder match for custody. It was help me. Where's Vicky? Where's Vicky?
Excuse me.
Yeah, she was supposed to run in and stop it. I don't think it was.
I will tell you one spot that really bothered me,
yeah.
and I said I'd bring it up. Was the Super Roman moment where you had Braun, you had Rollins, and you had Roman in the ring. Braun was outside the ring, and then you had Rollins, who was just on a roll.
Yeah,
and then he finished up his moveset with the buckle bomb on to Roman Reigns.
Yes,
and Roman just jumps right up and Superman punches back. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah. I was so excited for that spot when he was doing the buckle bump. I was like, yes! Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, like, to me, I'm like, gosh. I mean, Rollins really has shown a lot.
Yeah.
He was booked strong. I don't really think The Miz was booked that strong, but he was booked in a typical Miz heel way.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Sorry, Steven, but he didn't last long. And Elias, I kind of had a feeling that, I'm with you. I would have marked out, and I've said in my notes that Elias was my next in line to kind of mark out because it'd be cool.
Yeah,
I mean it'd be a lot of fun to see Elias,
and even from a Smarky perspective, like they've been booking him strong.
Yeah, yep.
Probably more so just to make it believable that he could stand with these guys.
To be honest, I probably would have marked out to anybody but Roman Reigns.
Yeah, anyone but you, Roman.
Yeah, it's just I don't know.
Yeah.
But hey, to each their own. We knew it was going to happen. I think we all talked about it after the Rumble. We knew this was going to happen. So, but I mean, overall, I think with the way that they were booked, I thought it was a pretty good match.
Yeah, it was literally until it came down to just Braun and Roman. Like I was like, this is wonderful, this is great, and then like that happened, and I was like, all right, how are they going to screw it up? And they quickly did screw it up. Like I don't even think they were one-on-one for that long.
Right.
And it was one of those bounce back moments where, like fucking Roman just hit him with the spear, what, twice?
Yeah, it was like Superman punch, spear, Superman punch, spear. Yeah. Oh, he's finally down, and a spear and win.
Yeah.
But hey, it's fine. It's predictable. And that's what I think was overall about this pay-per-view. I didn't have any mark-out moments. It was very predictable.
Yeah.
It was very boring from that perspective. I was hoping for something different.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. I guess I should lower my expectations and just go with chalk next time, and maybe I'll win back that belt.
Yeah, learn from us.
Yeah, I guess so.
It doesn't hurt to enjoy the food you're being force-fed.
Yeah, exactly. So
hopefully with Fastlane, with the 12-man, world title match.
Right. I think it's 13 now. I think they just added someone.
How many men are on the roster? Yeah, that's how many it is.
Right, exactly.
The Usos are in the match now.
Ugh, I hate the match now. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that Fastlane gives us some kind of swerve, but I'm thinking it's what we get, what we see is what we get.
Yeah,
and I think overall, you're gonna see, Cena put up a battle. Going up to Fastlane. Now, we won't talk too much about Fastlane, but I do think Undertaker.
We have an
Cena,
episode coming up.
I know, but I think Undertaker Cena is going to be at WrestleMania, and I think they just have to go out there and look at each other, and that'll be great. I think people will love it.
It'll be one of those matches, much like John Cena's Royal Rumble match versus AJ Styles last year?
Yeah.
Where they just stood there in the ring looking at each other for like 5 minutes.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was one of the best matches on the card.
So I'm looking forward to seeing AJ Styles in a pay-per-view again because he never steers me wrong.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
All right.
I think that's overall. I think Elimination Chamber very average, very boring.
Yeah.
But hey, good for you guys. Congrats on the belt. And congrats on tying him, but not winning anything out of it. But that's cool.
I mean,
small victories.
Yeah, exactly. I count my blessings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
You're a loser just like I was, though.
I mean, at least I got more points.
Oh, there you go. There you go. All right. Well, drinks on you, Malt. So that's great for all of us. And hey, I guess we'll see you next time. And I will say, how great was this not having Steven on? I mean, I think we were very concise. I think we'll get more viewers and more listeners. I think that'd be great, right? And hey, I mean. We'll move along that way,
I happen to believe that he adds a nice perspective on the show. I don't understand why you hate him so much.
Says the guy wearing the nerd shirt.
Yeah, well, that's because I like Anderson and Gallows.
You got it. Too sweet, buddy.
So join us next month for Fastlane. That pay-per-view is going to be on March 11th. So hopefully the Friday before, we will have our predictions episode out. And then, much like this time around, just some couple days later, we'll have our reactions.
Heck yeah!
So, thanks.
Yeah. No.
Do we have a sign out?
No, we still need to work on that.
Okay, cool. We're only like 6 episodes in.
Nah, it's overrated.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Thanks. See you at Fastlane.
See you.
This has been another Geek Out production. If you enjoyed what you heard, hey, we've got a special episode every Friday. Of course, there's the usual catching up show every Wednesday. And you get book club episodes just about every Tuesday these days. Thanks for listening.